Alright everyone, time to talk about whistleblowing because now there's a mysterious second whistleblower who's come forward corroborating what the first one said and teaming up with his same lawyer. See, the problem is, this is completely meaningless. Again, we've got another anonymous source claiming, yeah, the stuff here is true. It doesn't matter if we have 50 whistleblowers, though. We need to know who they are, get them cross-examined, get them before Congress. Well, that doesn't appear to be what's currently happening, so you'll excuse me if I'm a little bit suspicious of the motivations of these people. Wasn't it reported that the first one was a registered Democrat also? Mysterious how that always works. It always seems like the operatives who are blowing the whistle happen to be from the opposite political affiliation. Unless it's Edward Snowden, then they have to flee to a foreign country in order to protect themselves. Very interesting how that's one whistleblower the left never supported. Very, very strange. Anyway, I do not believe the claims, at least some of the claims, the hyperbolic ones of this particular whistleblower. I think that they are someone from the inside who took a little bit of common knowledge with regards to the Ukraine thing, ran with it, and then built up a bunch of bullshit that they'll claim, they'll swear up and down is true, but they'll never be able to corroborate it. They'll never have proof of or against it. A normal, reasonable person, at least if they understand how reason and logic work, says, if there's no evidence for or against something, if we just don't know, we have to reject it out of hand. At least for legal purposes, that's the case. Unfortunately, we're not living in rational times. We're living in hyper-partisan times. A faction of this country, even if it were proven that Trump were the devil incarnate, would never believe it. Another faction of this country will never believe anything good about Donald Trump, even when presented with incontrovertible evidence. When presented with incontrovertible evidence that Donald Trump lowered most of the taxes in the country for people in the working and middle class, a large proportion of the population still stubbornly clung to the belief that that wasn't the case, that their taxes somehow rose because the return was less, because the actual rate was lower, and that he was a bad person who just dumped money into the lap of corporations. Well, it's demonstrably untrue. It is mathematically untrue. We can show you the numbers and show you that that's not the case. But a lot of people still believe it. That's the times that we're living. And don't pretend like that's some new thing. Some people, Trump fans, I'm increasingly having a problem with some of the more die-hard Trump fans when they keep pretending that we're in an unprecedented, uncharted waters situation. No, we're not. Did you ignore all politics until 2015 or so? Or maybe 2014, arguably? No, things are no more weird now than they've ever been. There's a lot of hyperbole, a lot of propaganda, and a lot of problems in the country. They are problems we can solve. I happen to generally support Trump. I'm glad that he got his wall funding and managed to purchase strips of land to build it on. I'm glad he overhauled the VA. I'm glad about most of his diplomatic maneuvers. By the way, people pissed off that he's supposedly abandoning the Kurds right now. I'm going to take a step back and not report on it till tomorrow, and I'm going to tell you why. In a nutshell, because I don't believe any of the reporting I'm hearing right now. It's probably just hyperbolic propagandistic crap too, and it could be A/B testing for Trump. So at this point, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to let other people blow off steam. You go ahead and you say that Trump is evil, Trump is good, Trump's making a good decision, bad decision. Go ahead, because half of you are going to be wrong come morning anyway. So I'm just going to take a step back and then analyze it the day after, which is what I usually do anyway. I hate it because usually news breaks after I've made my videos for the day. So unless it's really, really like A+ important, like Bernie Sanders' heart attack was close. I almost ended up making a 5th video that day. But unless it's like at least at that level, I've got other things to do. I've got to drink some energy drinks, go pet chickens at this point. This community, a lot of animals, more than people. So there's like cows, chickens, goats, cats, and dogs. Ducks, swans. I mean, I'm seeing everything. It looks like a Minecraft super flat world where I currently am. Like if you could get onto a high enough structure, it would literally look like as flat as a board with like groups of animals here and there. It's amazing, actually. It was almost surreal riding the train through it. Getting a little off topic there. It is exciting. It's something I haven't seen before. It's pretty great. I want to travel more, I think. The whistleblower doesn't matter. None of the things in the Ukraine report matter for anyone, really, other than Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the one suffering right now. He's the one losing support. He's now in second place in the Dem field, arguably, at least according to half of the recently aggregated polls. Trump hasn't lost support at all. Nobody cares. His core fans don't care because he's Trump. Centrists don't care because it's all a mumbo-jumbo hodgepodge of bullshit, and we can't even tell what's true and what's not. We don't even have a face to the whistleblowing. Again, it's very, very funny. You've got a case where these whistleblowers are being treated as though they were nuggets of gold by the Democratic Party, the same party that used to hate whistleblowers. Like, they hate WikiLeaks, evil Russians. Well, how do you know the Russians aren't trying to screw with the U.S. political system by making us distrust the president? See, it's a Russian conspiracy. See, I can make up bullshit that I can't prove, too. Anyone can do that. And the shame on the so-called journalists of the left-wing media, which, you know, in some cases they are actually left-wing. I'm not talking about all of them, but those that are more partisan, for pretending that this is newsworthy. And then they knock the second whistleblower story out in favor, saying, oh, well, there's plenty of others that might come forward, according to the lawyer. Well, we've heard this before. We heard this with Cohen. We've heard this several times before. Oh, we've got a lot of whistleblowers. We've got evidence. Supposedly there's a tape of Trump saying the N-word. Still waiting for it. Supposedly there's tapes of Trump sexually assaulting women. Still waiting to see them. Supposedly there's evidence that he cheated on his taxes. Where is it? Supposedly there's evidence of him doing crazy shit in Russia, according to the Steele dossier, which I still occasionally hear from leftists is valid. Where is the evidence of these things? If you don't have evidence, then it's not actually going to stop him. And so when Dworkin comes out and acts like it's a red letter day, you are setting yourself up for failure. His fans should abandon him because he's always wrong. I feel sorry for these people. They keep stoking themselves. They get very excited. They think, this time Orange Man gone. This time Trump impeached. This time Trump discredited and disgraced and has to resign. Thank the Lord. Praise Abraham Lincoln. You know, long live Mike Pence, next president, for 24 hours before Pelosi kicks him out too. Yas, Queen Slay. And it's just not going to happen. If something happens that I think genuinely will cause Trump to be forced to resign or get him kicked out, they'll impeach and remove or whatever, then it'll be go time. Oh, it'll be live stream time. This isn't it. Oh, we've got a second whistleblower. He corroborated certain aspects of the first whistleblower. Okay, some. Which ones? Give me a comprehensive report. What's he corroborating and what's the proof? Also, is it a he or a she? The news reports indicate that it's probably a male. How many whistleblowers? You say there's more of them. How many? 2? That's more. 1 is more whistleblowers, or it could be 100. Is it everyone that ever worked in the White House that wants a book deal? Are these people just doing it like Cohen and some of these others for self-serving reasons to try to escape jail time because they done goofy shit? Because they want money? They want CNN to pay them to come aboard with a blacked out face and a garbled voice to talk about how Orange Man pisses all over the bathroom walls of the White House and has no respect for decorum? We shall see, I suppose. My speculation is this. The whistleblower report will be forgotten within a few weeks, by and large. Occasionally you'll get updates that'll get people going again, and then nothing will happen. Trump won't be impeached. If he is, he certainly won't be removed from office. Some of these reports are like, well, the Senate would have to vote to confirm his removal from office. But at least 3 GOP senators have expressed reservations about Trump's behavior, and there's no clear-cut defense against for Trump. Yeah, there is. Ultimately, it'll be a partisan vote. It'll be like every other. They build up suspense for weeks, like with Kavanaugh. Ultimately, only 2 people flipped. 1 Republican voted against, and 1 Democrat voted for, if I remember correctly. Which Republican was it that flipped? I can't remember. I remember it was Manchin, I think, that voted in favor. He was a West Virginia senator, Democrat, Southern Dem. Southern Dem living in West Virginia. I know that's funny. Very red area, and he sort of goes along with the GOP on some things. Intelligent individual, by all accounts. Still a neoliberal scumbag, but intelligent strategically. Now, I don't think that Trump's going to face any repercussions because I don't think he did anything wrong. Him talking to a foreign leader pertinent to an investigation, even if it seems political, is not itself, I don't find it problematic. I think you'll be hard-pressed to find most people that do think it's problematic unless they are partisans. Most people are not partisan Democrats. So if they're not partisan or they're a partisan Republican, I think the default is not to care. Even if they support inquiry, yeah, go ahead, have an impeachment inquiry, waste money and waste time. It's time the Democrats could be dedicated towards trying to solve problems in this country, trying to do something credible, something that actually impacts people's lives, and instead they're not interested in it. I think Trump baits them into doing stuff like this. It wastes their time and keeps them from doing anything they can run on. What's their platform going to be? They haven't accomplished anything in years and years. Absolutely nothing. That's about all. Peace out.